video I'm going to show you how to factorize any trinomial. So a trinomial is a three-term expression. What I want to particularly look at is a quadratic expression. So I'm really looking at either non-monic or monic quadratic equations. Those are in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c. And for this video, it actually doesn't matter what the value of a is, because I'm going to keep it consistent with the whole way. If a is 1 or if a is larger or smaller than 1, it doesn't matter. This method will work for all. And what I'm going to do is I like to draw a little table over on the left, where my first column is whatever the value of a times c is, and my second value is what the term b is. And what I do is I look for two factors that multiply together to make the value of whatever a times c is, and that when added, those same two numbers add together to make b. So b being here and a and c being here. So let's start with a very basic quadratic equation. Let's do x squared plus 5x plus 6. And we're going to factorize this. As we can see, a is 1, b is 5, and c is 6. So a times c is 1 times 6, which is 6. So I'm looking for factors, two numbers that multiply together to make 6. That also, when added, make positive 5, because that's the value of b. So my little table over there is what I'm working with. So I go through factors of 6. I think, oh, 1 and 6, but 1 and 6, 2 and 3. But I also have to consider the negatives as well, because we know that two negative numbers make a positive. Let's just see what we've got here. 1 plus 6 makes 7, so it's not going to be that. 2 plus 3 makes 5. That's the number I want. So it's going to be 2 and 3. So what I actually do is I break down my b term into these two new numbers that I found. So it's like I'm expanding that expression. So x squared plus, well, 5x is made up of 2x plus 3x. And then I still have this plus 6. Now what I can do is I can factorize in pairs. I can look for common factors within their pairs. These two work together as a pair. They've got a common factor of x. And these two work together. They have a common factor of 3. So I'm going to group them together. So I'm pulling out the common factors here. And on this one I said I was going to pull out a 3. That leaves me with x plus 2. Now I've condensed this into two terms. I can now say, right, both terms have a common factor of x plus 2. So we pull that out as a common factor and we say to get this term, x is multiplied by x plus 2 and 3 is multiplied by x plus 2. What we've done is we've fully factorized this. Let's have a look at what happens where, and I'm still going to stick when a is 1, but it doesn't actually matter because once I've followed this method, a times c, a could be any value. You clear some space. All right, so we're going to factorize x squared minus 9x plus 18. So value of a is 1, value of c is 18. 1 times 18 is 18, so I'm looking for factors of 18. That those two numbers added make negative 9 because that's my value of b. So let's go through factors of 18, 6 and 3. I'm going to have negative though, because when I added, obviously I'm going to make them a negative. Let's have a look at this. Negative 6 times negative 3 makes positive 18. That's okay. Negative 6, negative 3 gives me negative 9. So actually, I found those factors very quickly. So what I'm going to do is just expand this b term into my two new numbers so that I'm expanding this expression out. X squared, well, minus 9x is made up of minus 3x minus 3x. There's my minus 9x. And then, of course, I bring down the plus 18. Now I have four terms, and not all the terms have something in common, so I'm going to factorize in groups. I can actually leave them as they are. I'm actually going to factorize here. So I'm going to pull out a common factor of x within these two terms. So x times x gives me x squared. X times negative 6 gives me negative 6x. Pull out negative 3 as a factor here, and I multiply that by x to give me this term, and then I multiply negative 3 by negative 6 to give me positive 18. Now I've condensed that down into two terms that have a common factor. X minus 6 is in common with x minus 3. So we pull out x minus 6 as the factor and say we multiply by x and minus 3. And now we have fully factorized this expression. And that's pretty much all you need to know about factorizing quadratic expressions.